So in this video, before we dive into playing around with Bitcoin a bit more deeply, it's always a good idea to understand your setup further. So in this video, I'll give a few tips on how you can understand your setup a bit more. What we'll start with is knowing where the Bitcoin directory is and where all of our files are held. So all of our files are held in the root Bitcoin directory. So if we type ls tilde dash dot Bitcoin, this gives us one file and a folder. So we talked about this a little bit in the last video, I believe. We have the bitcoin.conf or configuration file, which can be configured differently depending on what network you want to connect with. So either the mainnet, where using a testnet setup, or the regtest network as well. And then we also have the testnet folder as well, which has all of our sort of testnet data. So if we also list out the folders and files in that directory, so we have a wallets file, we have all of our information for the blockchain in the blocks and chain state files. So typically these are files that you don't really or shouldn't have to edit or change in any way. If you do have issues in your setup, your debug.log file should provide you with further information, such as like any errors that might have occurred during the installation process. And then lastly, we have the Bitcoin CLI, which is basically just an interface, a JSON RPC or remote procedural call interface, which allows us to connect with our over HTTP to our to the Bitcoin daemon basically. So if we want to know some of the commands that are available via the Bitcoin CLI, we can just type Bitcoin dash CLI space help, and this gives us a list of all of the methods that are available for us to call via an RPC command. So they're sectioned by the types of commands you can make, I guess. So one section is blockchain, and all of the methods associated with getting information related to the blockchain are here. We also have stuff for getting mining information, as well as network information as well. And if you want to know a bit more about a specific method or command, what you can do is, so let's try and find an interesting one. So maybe we can do get blockchain info. So if I just clear my terminal and do Bitcoin CLI help, and then the name of the method that I want to learn a bit more about, in this case it's get blockchain info, click enter. This gives me a bit more information about what I can expect in the response from making that call. So I can expect to get back the blocks, which if we read here is a description. In this description is a numeric value, and it returns the height of the most work fully validated chain. The Genesis block has height 0, so the Genesis block is the first block mined in the network. There's other stuff here as well, such as like the difficulty adjustment, and that's a numeric value to return the current difficulty. And then down here we have an example of making that command. and this is what it actually looks like. This is basically what the Bitcoin CLI is abstracting for us essentially. So it's making a HTTP request via curl, and using the JSON RPC interface, we using the method get blockchain info. So as you can see, it's quite like, I guess it's quite long, and it's a bit more going on here, as opposed to just typing essentially 3 words, which does the same thing. So it's kind of like nicely abstracted that for us in many ways, but in some ways it does limit what we can do as well. But if you're interested in learning a bit more about some of the command line methods, then just type in Bitcoin CLI and help and read a bit more about it. And that's pretty much it for this video. So in summary, we have the Bitcoin files and stuff hosted in the Bitcoin directory in the root, and we can learn a bit more about the Bitcoin CLI commands by typing Bitcoin CLI space help to get more info on the commands. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.